The royal alarms thunder across the alien palace. Guards run in panic. The queen storms into the grand hall, only to freeze when her daughter steps forward holding the hand of a human man. The queen's voice trembles. "Tell me this is not what I think it is." Her daughter lowers her head. "Mother, I married him." A human engineer named Hale crash lands on the alien world Xerathis after a navigation failure. He is captured but treated gently because the princess, Arala, insists he is harmless. Evan fixes a damaged energy chamber in minutes, something Xerath engineers could never do. Arala grows curious about the human who smiles even under danger. Over days, Evan teaches Arala small human things: humor, music, honesty without politics. She teaches him her world's beauty: crystal forests, floating cities, ancient beasts. Their friendship turns into something deeper, but they keep it hidden. In this empire, relationships with humans are forbidden. Welcome to my channel Sci-Fi Love Story. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. The palace of the Xerath Empire had seen wars, storms, and countless royal ceremonies, but it had never seen chaos like this. Sirens screamed across the crystal towers, echoing through every hallway. Guards ran in silver armor, shouting commands as energy shields flickered to life. Servants hid behind pillars, unsure what danger approached. In the center of the main hall, under the glowing sun crystal, Queen Serana walked forward with cold, sharp steps. Her long robe flowed behind her like a river of starlight, and her 4 golden eyes shone with anger. Her presence alone made every soldier fall silent. She was a queen born from battle. She did not fear anything in the galaxy, but the sight waiting for her at the end of the hall froze even her heart. Princess Arala, her only daughter, heir to the throne, stood beside a man who did not belong in the palace, or the entire empire. A human, tall, brown-haired, dressed in simple pilot clothes, and looking very out of place under the alien lights. His hand was wrapped around the princess's hand. The entire hall held its breath. Queen Serana's voice came out low and dangerous. "Arala, explain this." The princess swallowed. Her silver-blue skin glimmered under the lights, and her bright emerald eyes held fear and determination at the same time. She stepped forward, gently pulling the human with her. "Mother," she said softly, "his name is Evan." The queen's eyes narrowed. Arala continued, "He is my husband. We completed the bonding ritual." For several seconds, no one moved. No one even dared breathe. Then the queen whispered, barely able to form the words, "My daughter married a human." The guards around her instantly activated their weapons. Half of them looked ready to arrest the princess. The other half looked ready to execute the human on the spot. But none of them moved until the queen gave the order. And right now, Queen Serana was too stunned to speak. Weeks earlier, the story had started far from the palace, far from the shining city, when a single human ship drifted through a storm of dark cosmic dust. Evan Hale, a young engineer, sat inside the cockpit muttering to himself as sparks flew across the control panel. Of course, the engine dies now. Perfect timing. The ship trembled again. A violent flash of blue lightning struck the hull, sending the vessel spinning toward a large planet covered in clouds. Evan tried to pull the controls, but nothing responded. "Oh great," he groaned. "I'm going to crash on an uncharted world." "Excellent career move, Evan." The ship slammed through the atmosphere. Heat flooded the cockpit. Evan braced himself as the ship tore through a glowing forest made of crystal trees. Branches shattered like glass around him. Finally, the ship slammed into soft ground and came to a stop. Evan sat in silence for a full minute, stunned that he was still alive. Then he said the only thing his stressed brain could think of, "I really want coffee." But before he could step out, a squad of alien soldiers surrounded him. Their armor shimmered like metal mixed with light. Their faces held no softness, only duty. He raised both hands. "Hi, I come in peace." Very peaceful. Extremely peaceful. The soldiers did not seem impressed. He was dragged across the shining city, placed in a containment cage, and brought into a chamber filled with advanced machines. Evan thought he was about to be dissected like a lab animal. Instead, someone unexpected entered the room. Princess Arala. Her beauty was otherworldly, but not frightening. Her silver patterns glowed faintly on her skin, and her long white hair flowed like liquid moonlight. She walked toward Evan with curious eyes, not cruel ones. "Human," she said softly, "why were you alone on that ship?" "Long story," Evan answered. "Short version, I'm a terrible pilot." To his shock, she laughed. Arala asked him many questions, and he answered honestly, even when his honesty sounded foolish. She found it strange how humans joked during danger, complained about life, yet still fought for others. When the scientists struggled to repair a damaged power core, Evan asked to try. They laughed at him, until he pulled out tools and fixed it in 10 minutes. After that, Arala visited him every day. She showed him the floating gardens and the singing crystal caves. He told her stories about Earth, simple things, like beaches, rain, and the smell of morning coffee. She loved listening. They laughed together, explored together, trusted each other. Their hands touched for the first time when Arala slipped on a crystal slope, and Evan caught her before she fell. Their eyes met, and neither could look away. The princess felt something new in her heart, warm and frightening. And Evan felt something he never expected to feel on a foreign world, home. But they both knew the truth. Her people hated humans. The queen would never approve. Their worlds were too different. Their lives were too far apart. So they tried to stop their feelings. But love does not stop because of fear. Then came the night of the attack. Rebels struck the city with blasts of red plasma. Buildings shook, alarms screamed, and citizens ran for cover. Evan found Arala in the middle of the chaos, trying to organize evacuations. A huge energy bomb exploded above them. Sharp crystal debris rained down. Evan didn't think, he just moved. He threw himself over Arala, shielding her with his body. A large shard sliced across his back, and he collapsed on her shoulder. She screamed his name. Evan gritted his teeth. I'm fine, mostly, kind of. Arala held his face with shaking hands. She felt fear she had never known, fear of losing one person, not an entire empire. She healed him using her energy, tears falling on his skin. That night, she realized she loved him. Not as a curiosity, not as a friend, but as the one person she could not live without. She took him into the wild zone to hide from the rebels and her own mother's eyes. The wild zone was a place of danger, floating stones, giant beasts, storms made of glowing mist, but it also held ancient spiritual shrines. One evening, under the soft glow of twin moons, Arala and Evan sat beside a warm fire. The wind carried a soft, distant singing from the crystal trees. Evan looked at her. When I crashed here, I thought I was doomed. Now, I don't ever want to leave. Arala's voice trembled. And I don't want a life without you. They held each other's hands. Their hearts beat faster. The air felt different, heavy with truth. An old spiritual elder of the wild zone approached them quietly. He had been watching them for days. You share a connection stronger than fear, he said. If you wish, I can bond your lives. Arala looked at Evan, waiting. Evan squeezed her hand. Yes, I want this. I want you. Arala's eyes shined with emotion. Then I choose you too. The bonding ritual was simple yet powerful. Lights wrapped around their hands, white for human life, blue for Xerath life, and merged into a glowing symbol. It was a marriage older than the empire itself. When the ritual ended, Arala whispered, whatever happens, we face it together. Evan touched her cheek gently. Together, but hiding forever was impossible. The queen had summoned Arala back to the palace. A major political meeting required the princess's presence. Arala told Evan to stay behind. Evan refused. You stood by me, he said. I will stand by you. No matter the risk. She tried to argue, but his determination was stronger than her fear. They returned to the capital at dawn. And the moment the palace scanners detected a human, all alarms exploded. Guards stormed the entrance, weapons raised. Arala stepped in front of Evan, shouting, stand down. The whole hall froze. Then everyone saw the glowing bonding mark on her hand. Silence, shock, whispers spreading like fire, and then, Queen Serana entered. Her glare was cold enough to kill. She stopped in front of them. Her eyes moved to their joined hands. The glowing mark, the human. Her voice cracked, not weakly, but with too much emotion to control. My daughter married a human. The human she spoke of, Evan, stood tall, even while surrounded by her most deadly soldiers. But the queen raised her hand slowly, energy forming like a burning sun. Everything trembled. Her voice thundered, you dare bring a human into my palace, as your husband? Arala stepped between them, spreading her arms. Mother, listen, silence. The queen's energy sphere grew brighter. Arala cried out, don't hurt him. But the queen's power was ready to strike. The hall felt frozen in time and fire at the same moment. Evan took one small breath, and stood firm. The queen unleashed her power. The air in the palace hall crackled like a storm about to break. Queen Serana's energy sphere glowed brighter than the sun crystals embedded in the walls, bathing the room in blinding white light. Every soldier's eyes squinted, some shielding their faces, but none dared move. Even the guards holding their weapons raised could only watch, frozen. Hale, the human, stood tall despite the deadly energy forming in front of him. His palms were empty. He made no attempt to fight. His gaze met the queen's, unwavering. If he died here, he would face it like a man. If the queen struck him down, he would die defending Arala, the woman he loved more than life itself. Arala ran forward, her hand still clinging to Evan's. "Mother, please, he hasn't done anything wrong." The queen's eyes, normally so sharp and cruel, flickered. A tiny crack of confusion appeared for a moment. But she swallowed it and focused her rage. "You disobey me, Arala. You bring a human into my palace, into my daughter's bed, and call him your husband. Explain yourself, now, or I will destroy you both." Evan did not flinch. "Your Majesty, I did not come here to steal, to harm, or to claim anything from your empire. I only wish to protect your daughter. I only wish to stand by her side." The queen's 4 eyes burned into him, scanning for lies. In Xerathian culture, humans were known for dishonesty and self-interest. It was unheard of for one to give without expecting anything in return. Yet somehow, she sensed it. The truth in his voice. "You speak boldly for a human," she said, her voice lower, almost suspicious. "Bold words cannot save you if your actions betray them." "I understand," Evan replied. "And I will prove that I mean every word. No one else will protect her the way I will, not even the strongest Xerathian warriors." Arala's heart pounded in relief. She had never seen him speak like this before. Brave, honest, and fearless. She squeezed his hand, silently telling him, "I trust you." The queen raised her hand, calling a shimmering circle of energy before Evan. "You will not speak further until the trial of truth is complete." Evan stepped forward. The energy circle, cold and glowing, wrapped around his body. A voice, deep and resonant, echoed in the hall. "Human, you will speak only what is true. The circle will detect lies. Falsehood will bring death. Tell the truth, or perish." Evan inhaled. He felt the cold hum of alien power, but he did not step back. "Not once. I swear by my life, by my honor, and by my love for Arala, I will tell the truth." The circle glowed brighter as if acknowledging his words. Then, he began. "I did not come here to take Arala. I did not come to claim her for myself. I came because she needed protection. Because she trusted me. I love her, not for power, not for status, not for anything else. I love her because she is kind, brave, and the most important person in my life." A silence fell across the hall. Not a single soldier moved. Not a single advisor breathed. The queen's eyes widened slightly. His words carried no deception. The energy circle glowed steady, confirming his honesty. But even as the trial concluded, a sudden roar shattered the tension. A section of the palace walls erupted as rebels, rogue Xerathians who despised humans, stormed in. They were armed with plasma spears and energy blades, their faces twisted with hatred. Their leader, a tall Xerath noble with scarred skin, pointed directly at Evan. "That human, kill him, force him from the palace. He is unworthy of royal blood." Guards raised weapons. The hall descended into chaos. Alarms screamed. Citizens fled behind pillars, hiding wherever they could. Evan looked at Arala. "Stay behind me." She shook her head. "No, I'm not leaving you." A rebel threw a plasma spear toward Arala. Evan dove in front of her, catching the spear with his arm. Pain exploded through his shoulder, but he gritted his teeth. The rebels froze for a brief moment, stunned by his bravery. The queen's golden eyes widened, recognizing the depth of Hale's courage. "Human," she whispered, though her voice was lost amidst the chaos. "He is extraordinary." Arala ran to Evan's side, tears streaming. She placed her hands over his wound, sending healing energy from her body into his. Evan winced but smiled. "Feels like a bad day at the office," he joked weakly. She tried to scold him, but her heart raced too fast to speak. The rebels were relentless. They advanced again, but the queen's voice thundered through the hall. "Stop!" Energy shot from her hand, forming a massive barrier. The rebels screamed as their spears and blasts bounced harmlessly. The queen walked forward, her anger barely contained. She stood before Evan, her eyes piercing. You humans are strange creatures, she said slowly, almost to herself. You love in ways we do not understand. You risk everything, without thought of reward. Perhaps, I underestimated you. Evan looked at her. I am not here to fight you, Your Majesty. I am here to protect her. Her face hardened again. And yet, you have already risked everything. Her gaze softened slightly as she glanced at Arala. This human has risked his life not once, but twice, for my daughter. Arala's hands trembled. Mother, please. He is not an enemy. He is the one I love. Queen Serana studied them for a long moment. Finally, she gestured for the rebels to retreat. The guards hesitated, but obeyed. The rebels fled, their hatred echoing down the halls, leaving silence in their wake. The Queen's eyes returned to Evan. Very well, she said, her voice colder now, but with a hint of respect. I will not destroy you, yet. But your place here is not guaranteed. You will prove yourself worthy of standing beside my daughter. You will undergo the trials of integration. Evan tilted his head. Trials? You will live among us, the Queen explained. You will face challenges that test your mind, your strength, and your loyalty. If you succeed, you will become the first human noble in our empire. If you fail, you and your bond with my daughter will be broken. Permanently. He nodded. I accept. Whatever it takes. I will not let her down. Arala's eyes sparkled with pride and relief. She leaned closer, whispering in his ear, I knew you would face it bravely. He smiled, even through the pain of his wound. We face it together. The Queen's eyes narrowed, watching their silent connection. There was something in their unity that even she could not deny. For the first time, she realized that love could be stronger than fear, stronger than politics, stronger than the very rules she had spent her life enforcing. Days passed as Evan underwent the trials. He climbed vertical cliffs that no Xerathian had scaled in centuries. He solved energy puzzles that required perfect understanding of the Empire's most advanced technology. He learned to communicate with alien creatures that many thought untamable. Through it all, Arala never left his side. She healed his wounds, cheered his successes, and offered gentle guidance when he struggled. The court watched in amazement. Guards, nobles, and advisors all whispered about the human who refused to fail. Some doubted he could survive the Empire's tests. Others began to wonder if perhaps he deserved to be more than a visitor. Queen Serana observed silently from the throne. She noted his courage, his determination, and, most importantly, his unwavering loyalty to her daughter. The same loyalty she had never seen in any Xerathian noble. Slowly, the anger in her eyes softened, replaced by reluctant respect. The final trial took place in the sacred chamber of the sun crystals. A test of unity and trust, designed to reveal the true nature of a being. Evan stood hand in hand with Arala as a powerful energy field surrounded them. Only by perfectly synchronizing their movements, thoughts, and intentions could they survive the test. As the energy pulsed and swirled around them, Evan felt the warmth of Arala's hand. Her presence calmed his fears. Together, they moved as one. The energy field responded, glowing brighter and brighter until it formed a perfect sphere of white light around them. The chamber fell silent. The Queen stepped forward. Her eyes softened. The human has proven his heart. He has proven his worth. Perhaps, I misjudged him. Arala stepped forward, her voice trembling with emotion. Mother, please, accept him. He is mine. He is the one I love. Queen Serana studied Evan for a long moment. Then, slowly, she extended her hand and touched his shoulder. A spark of royal energy passed through him, not harmful, but symbolic. Acceptance. Recognition. You are foolish, human, she whispered, almost a smile in her tone. But brave. My daughter chose you for a reason. Do not fail her, or my empire. Evan bowed deeply. I will not fail either. That evening, the palace seemed quieter than usual. Guards patrolled normally, citizens whispered in curiosity, and the Queen retreated to her chambers. Arala and Evan stood on a balcony, looking at the glowing city below. The twin moons reflected in their eyes, shining with promise. Arala leaned against him. We made it. Evan wrapped his arm around her. This is only the beginning. But together, nothing can stop us. The Queen watched them from afar, hidden in the shadows. She had not spoken to them directly since the trials, but she understood something new. Perhaps love was not weakness. Perhaps it could shape the future. And somewhere deep inside, she knew that the human standing beside her daughter was not just a protector, he was the start of a new era. The palace lights shimmered, the stars above shone brighter than ever. For the first time in centuries, the Empire felt the stirrings of change. And in the hearts of two unlikely beings, one human, one Xerathian, hope burned brighter than any danger or fear. The story of Evan and Arala had only just begun, but the galaxy would remember it forever. End.